Nick, from the hypothetical to the actual now in the Telegraph, and a sexual assault's taking place in a school lavatory that wasn't so gender-neutral after all, it seems. Yeah, Essex schoolgirls sexually assaulted in gender-neutral toilets. Terrible story, and I think it was a 16-year-old boy, and they were in these... It was in a gender-neutral toilet, and the police are saying there was a sexual assault they're looking into.
It's a bunch of sexual assaults.
Yes, sorry, a series of them. And there was no guidance. The guidance wasn't clear on mixed-sex toilets. There's been no impact assessment on the provision of gender-neutral lavatories. It doesn't have a written policy at the school. So this is the problem when you have these kind of. You don't have a clear policy. You allow gender-neutral toilets. This is what everyone's been talking about. That people will gaslight you and say it doesn't exist, but clearly it is happening. Yeah. It looks very much like something where a school. I mean, we've obviously all heard recently that teacher in. On the cat thing, with whether or not anyone was identified as a cat. There was certainly a teacher who was speaking with an extraordinary amount of vitriol and hatred towards these sort of kids who weren't in the programme. And it's a similar thing, I suspect, with this arrangement. I mean, I'm guessing, but I can just imagine, again, a school just goes, yeah, let's have gender-neutral toilets. That's the way forward, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And 28% of them, sorry, they're supposed to have separate toilets for children 8 and over, but 28% of them are failing to do so.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence of girls just not using the toilets and going, like, next door into shopping centres and whatnot. Yeah. Because it's difficult being a young woman. It's difficult being a young man as well. And it's not like all young men are evil by or anything like that, or men, but you are going to get some wrong-uns. Yeah. And there is a reason why we've had these safe spaces, these separate spaces, and to see this kind of stuff happening, and you're right, how many of these people who've been pushing this ideology are going to be denying it now, pretending it didn't happen, or excusing it?
Or scolding kids who have brought...
How dare you bring it up?
I don't like it, yeah. Well, I think that one is going to run for a while.